Hello, welcome. Danny from Surfer here, and in today's lesson, we're going to talk about the 5 stages of awareness and the importance of meeting your customer on the exact spot of their customer journey. This lesson goes out to my friend, Eugene Schwartz. Okay, wait, he's not my friend. I've never met him, but I'm really happy he came up with the 5 stages of awareness because it helps SEOs and marketers do a better job at what we do. So wherever you are, thanks, Eugene. These 5 stages of awareness describe how aware your prospect is of their problem, possible solutions to their problem, and how your product can help them solve their problem. Clearly defined stages of awareness are essential to any content strategy. After all, you need to know who you're talking to and why. So, honest question, would you try to sell a Ferrari to someone who doesn't even have their driver's license yet? Probably not. The way you talk to your prospects will change depending on what stage they're at. This knowledge should affect your target keywords, your calls to action, and your tone. Schwartz described 5 stages of a prospect's awareness as: number 1, completely unaware. The prospect has zero knowledge of anything except perhaps his own brand or his own opinion. He doesn't recognize a problem whatsoever. Stage 2 is problem aware. Your prospect knows that they have a problem, but doesn't know that there's a solution to this problem. Stage 3 is solution aware. Your prospect knows that they have a problem and knows what kind of results they seek, but they don't know which products will really fulfill their needs. Stage 4 is product aware. Your prospect knows what you sell, but isn't sure it's right for them. They might need to do some research. They might be in the process of looking into many different products, yours included, and comparing them. The final stage, stage 5, is most aware. Your prospect knows your product and knows it can solve their problem. Now they need a deal in order to follow through with the purchase. You first need to understand exactly what the prospect is looking for, and then push them down into your sales funnel. Let's go into a concrete example, shall we? I'll show you how to do it with the example of the SEO services for e-commerce niche. The first stage of awareness is completely unaware. If someone doesn't realize they have a problem, how on earth will you be able to sell them a solution? As a person writing about SEO services, you want your readers to understand that they have the following problem. I need new sources of leads. I want to attract prospects through organic traffic. I want to boost my visibility in search engines. Okay, so far so good. But there are e-commerce owners who have never had thoughts like this. Maybe they get all their clients from social media or paid ads and they don't think about SEO at all. Maybe they've tried it, maybe once or twice, and decided, it's not for me, because they didn't get the results they were looking for. Or maybe they're not even e-commerce owners yet and are only researching their business possibilities. Most companies don't even bother creating content for the completely unaware stage. In fact, most start with the solution stage because it's easier to sell to people who are already hot than heating up stone cold leads. And content creation takes a lot of time and resources. Not to mention, such prospects might never become a customer since you can't predict if they ever find a need for your product or your service. And even if they do, weeks or months might pass before they're warm enough to even make a purchase. They may never become customers because the intent is not there. We would have to start with content relevant to their niche. Our readers don't feel a particular need to read about SEO since they don't understand what it is, and they're not aware they have a problem. So we have to introduce SEO in a piece about a different topic. Think of what a small e-commerce owner or aspiring owner might look for on the internet. Here are some examples. How to build an e-commerce site. How to start an e-commerce business. E-commerce good practices. E-commerce trends. Things like that. You can create content that answers these questions and treats it as like a gateway to introduce the problem your services might solve. Think about beginner's guides, how-to articles, and other general educational pieces. Let's move on to the problem-aware stage. At this stage, the e-commerce owner realizes that they do have a problem. Maybe their previous traffic sources are not working well anymore, or they didn't even have them, and they're looking for new ways to attract more customers. They may look for how to get organic traffic to your website, or how to increase e-commerce sales, or marketing for e-commerce, or maybe even successful e-commerce case study. Your job at this stage is to introduce them to the solution. SEO! This is the next opportunity to write a guide, a how-to article, or another educational piece, this time focusing on getting more traffic. Let's move on to solution aware. At this stage, the e-commerce owner knows that social media is not the only valid channel for their site, and they've learned about this big thing called SEO. They may look for how to climb higher in search engines, or SEO for Shopify, or SEO content strategy for e-commerce, or how to write product descriptions for SEO. This is usually the first stage for which most companies start producing content. It's also a great starting point if your company is new or just beginning its content efforts. Producing valuable text that boost your credibility and offer knowledge without pushing your product is a great business opportunity. There's a great chance that they'll end up trusting you and eventually become your customers because after a while, they'll want to sign up for more of your content because you're providing value and you're answering their questions. Selling is great, but establishing trust with your customer or your potential customer, it goes much, much further. On to product aware. So the e-commerce owner learned their fair share about the e-commerce SEO. They know that they have some technical issues on their site, that they have never optimized their meta tags, and that their content needs to be changed. They know it's a lot of work and that their company is doing all of that for a fee. What they don't know is which agency to choose. They may look for Best SEO Agency London, SEO Agency E-commerce Case Study, SEO E-commerce Pricing. You should create a product-centric blog post for this stage, like a quick guide on how to solve a particular problem with your product, or landing pages and case studies. Anything that will convince the prospect that your company is a perfect match for their needs. Lastly, we've got most aware. Right now, the e-commerce owner wants to know what you can offer them. For this stage of awareness, SEO is not really helpful. Your prospect wants to get in touch with sales. Maybe get a special offer, an email, or an ad. If you know what the user journey looks like for your company and what topics the prospects might be interested in, you're already to start with keyword research and topic clusters. If you're a freelancer who doesn't plan the entire content strategy, all you need to do is figure out which phrases the piece you're writing about corresponds with and adjust your language, keyword research, and calls to action. But suppose you're an in-house marketer or an agency marketer in charge of the whole content strategy. In that case, you need to think carefully and holistically about helping your customer at every stage of awareness. Time to celebrate, time to celebrate, you finished! The discovery phase. You've seen what it's like to do keyword research the manual way. You've seen what it's like to do it the surfer way. And you've seen that it can be much easier. So I have some news. Congratulations, you've made it to the end of the discovery phase. Woohoo! Time to celebrate. Take a break, walk around. I'll see you in the next lesson. Happy surfing.